All right, this is lesson 18, distance on the coordinate plane. Today you'll be successful. You can find the distance between 2 points, plot the points, and find the distance. Remember, we've been working on this. Use addition and subtraction of the absolute value. No, it's not absolute value, not obsolete. Okay. Find the distance. Remember, we define the absolute value as the distance from 0, so that's why it makes sense that we're using the absolute value. Know when to add and subtract to find the distance, so that's going to be one of the key things we're working with today. All right, so consider the points -4 and 0 and 5 and 0. Okay, so I'm going to read the rest of that for us. Ordered pairs. Okay, yes, that's what the word is. Again, coordinate plane, not coordinate plane. Okay, coordinate plane, not coordinate. All right. So, what do they have in common? Yes, they are both coordinates. They are both ordered pairs. Yes, that's what they have in. What do the ordered pairs have in common? Yes, they are both 0. They both have a y-coordinate of 0, and that means they're on the x-axis. So how can we find the distance between those points? What you can do is you can graph them on a number line, because basically if you have the x-axis, you're going to have -4 and 5, and to find the distance between those, we can just find the distance between there, which is -4. No, it's not -4. Remember, distance is always positive, so it's 4. And the distance of that one is 5. So we can add those together. We just end up with 4 plus 5. So if we were thinking about just finding these, the zeros just tell us where they're lined up. And that's going to be the key things. The points that are the same are the ones that we don't worry about. It's the other ones. So in this case, -4 and 5. Notice they're on one side of 0, the other one's on the other side of 0. And that's going to be the key thing. Where are they in relation to 0 or one of the axes? Okay? Yes, axis. No, not axis of evil like your video game. Axis like in the axis of the coordinate plane. Axis of evil. You guys play way too many video games. Okay, use the same method to find the distance. So when we find the distance, remember that's our absolute value. So the absolute value of -4 is 4, and the absolute value of 5 is 5. So we can just find the distance of those, and then we just have to add those together. Now the key is we need to know when we add or subtract these together. That was one of the things. And we know if we add them if they have opposite signs. So if one's positive and one's negative. And what that means is one's below 0 and one's above 0. That's why negative and positive. Okay. Then they are the non-same points. And we're talking about non-same points. That'd be like the -4 and 5. So in this case, the x are their non-same points. The y-coordinate are the same. They're both 0. And that's going to be the case. The only points you'll be able to find, the only points we'll be working with, all of our coordinate ordered pairs will have one, either the x-coordinate or the y-coordinate, like on this one, that's the same. Okay, let's go on to the next one. All right, you guys writing this down? Write it down. How do you expect to learn? I can't believe you guys don't have anything. I just went through the first problem. You didn't even write it down, did you? How do you expect to learn? Okay, write this one down. Guys, write it down. Okay, so we have, yes, line segment with endpoints at 0, -6, and 0, -11. Again, ordered pairs, yes. What do they have in common? Very good, thank you. They both are 0, and the other coordinates are both negative. That is true, okay? But the main thing is that 0, the x-coordinate of 0, means that these are going to lie on the y-axis. And so again, just like the last ones, these have an x-coordinate the same, where the last ones have a y-coordinate the same, and our y-coordinate in this case are different. So if we just do a quick sketch of these, I just Since these are going up and down, I didn't worry about the whole axis. We have 0, 0, 0, -6, and 0, -11. Now, how can we find the distance between those? That's what we're trying to find. So if you look at that, yeah, this distance is 6, isn't it? What's the distance down here? -11? No, remember, distance is always positive. Yes, distance is always positive. So that is 11, isn't it? How can we find this distance right here? Yeah, good luck. No, we can use actually subtraction. And again, we talk about this. We're finding the absolute value of these, which gives us the distance. And if we have the whole distance here, which is 11, and take this away, we're left with just this, which is what we're trying to find. So we end up with 11 minus 6. You could go 6 minus 11, but we don't know how to do that yet because we haven't dealt with those type of problems. So always just put the larger number first. So 11 minus 6 gives us 5. So our length of the line segment is 5. You guys writing this down? Because here's the important note right here is this one. On the non-same point, so again, our non-same points are -6 and -11. So in this case, our x coordinates were the same, and that's always going to be the case. You're going to have one set of points the same. -6 and -11 are different, so they have the same sign. They're both negative, and if that's the case, we end up subtracting the values. Okay, so we end up subtracting them. Okay, so again, you can just do these without even graphing them. You can sketch a graph if you need to, but let's go ahead and look at the next one. Okay, so consider the line segment with endpoints -3 and 3 and -3 and -5. Again, what do these have in common? Again, ordered pairs, and what does that tell us about the location? Yes, they both do have that -3 in common, don't they? What does that tell us? Okay, the coordinate, yeah, so the point lies on the vertical line and x-axis at -3. Yes, -3. Again, axis of evil, apparently. X-axis, just because it's math doesn't mean it's evil. Okay, I know some of you might think that, but it's not the case. Okay, so these would be, it would cross the x-axis, so this would be a vertical line. We don't necessarily even have to graph this though, because let's look at it. The non-negative points, this would be a vertical line that goes through -3. So one would go -3 and up 3. The other one would go from our origin -3 and then down 5. So we're going to have up 3 and down 5. So again, what's our absolute values? Our absolute values are 3 and 5. And since one's positive and one's negative, we need to add these, don't we? So our distance from those is 8. So again, if the signs of the non-negative number, of the non-same numbers, sorry, are opposites, we just add those. Yes, we just add them. When do we subtract? When we want to? No, not when we want to. We subtract when the non-same numbers are the same sign. So if they're either both positive or negative, so what that means, they're either above one of the axes or below one of the axes or to the left or to the right of one of the axes. And if they're positive or negative like this, it means they cross the axis, so we need to add them. Yes, cross the axis of, it's getting old, guys. Axis of evil is getting old. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm just going to quickly, you try these. I'm going to put the answers up here so you can check them. You can look through these as you go. Okay. All right. I'll put the rest of them up here. You can look through these as you go and check them. Good luck, guys. You're going to need it. I hope you guys wrote some of this down because you're going to need to do this. All right. Bye. Get your work done.